This is a Marina revival, and I'm going to have a crack at turning it into a tribute to Dave Murray from Iron Maiden's 57 black and white Strat. Why would I try and do that with a guitar that only costs a couple $100 and has got a massive break in the body? Well, one reason is I'm a bit mental. The other reason is that this guitar belongs to my brother and it's a sentimental project. I'm going to set a budget of around $200 to try and get this done. Now, I don't think this is going to be comparable to the $5,000 plus Dave Murray signature guitar, but I do believe that I can make this a hell of a lot of fun and breathe some wicked life back into it. Something to consider here. A lot of people will say don't bother with cheap guitars, just buy an expensive one and be done with it. That's all well and good if you've got the money to do it. The other thing is, cheap guitars often have a special place in the hearts of guitarists because that's what we learn on. You know, when you're 10, 11, 12, your parents don't go out and buy you a $4,000 to $5,000 Strat or a $10,000 Gibson Les Paul. And there's no reason why, with a little bit of know-how and a little bit of patience, you can't make a cheap guitar play reasonably nice and be a hell of a lot of fun. The main areas to concentrate on when you're fiddling around with a cheap guitar are the frets, the way that the fingerboard is rolled here as well, and your setup. Your tuning pegs, you don't need real expensive ones if you cut your nut properly and string it properly. Your bridge doesn't have to be a super expensive bridge. Not everyone likes a weighted tremolo. You can get away with cheaper tremolos that are on like Squires, or for instance on this, it's got this thin lightweight one. We're going to change this out, by the way, and I'm going to show you how you can get a decent quality bridge into here without having to spend a huge amount of dollars. It stands on its own. Woo! I'm going to try and keep the budget for this guitar around $200. Again, I'm talking Australian dollars. So 200 Australian dollars is about $3.95 US. Oh man. I'm going to replace the strings. A set of strings here will cost anywhere from about $20 to $30. If you buy them in bulk, you can get really good ones for $20. I'm replacing the pick guard with, and it's going to be HSH format. I'm going to replace the pickups, and we're going to do this cheaply as well. Don't forget, it's under $200. I'm going to replace the pots, the switch, the jack. I'm actually going to put a Fender style one in here, like that. I've even got machine heads to go on this. This has already got Gottos on it, but I'm going to put some locking ones on here, and you can get locking ones for relatively cheap, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to make a cheap guitar play good. This has got a really sharp edge. I don't want to do that too much, I'll cut my hand. With a little bit of knowledge, you can get these rounded off, and this is a fret end file. This is a $23 one. You don't actually need that. These needle files cost me like $6 on Amazon. In here is a flat file with a safe edge. This will do the job. Not quite as good as this, but it'll get you where you need to be. So I'll show you how to use a cheap file to get good fret ends as well. I'm going to show you how to level your frets and crown them without having the need of super expensive tools. Expensive tools do make your life easier. This is a fret crowning file. Yes, it's a little bit expensive. I think these are about $80, I think they are US. So it's not super expensive, but if you're only doing one guitar, not worth buying. But we can crown our frets with this same file. Teach you how to do that as well. A really good CTS pot is expensive. I think these are about $15 each. This is a Gotto, made in Japan, and great quality. I have no issues with these Gotto pots. The Alpha pots I've had some issues with, but not these. Now these are worth about $4 each. Big difference. All up, all in, we're going to try and keep this under $200. You can't buy everything new. For instance, the bridge, I've found one that was damaged, which means I got it a hell of a lot cheaper. The damage is very, very minute, and it's only noticeable if you know that it's there. Doesn't affect how it works. It's just a little tiny dent on the edge of the plate. We can modify this guitar into being something that's extremely fun to play, easy to play, and feels much, much more expensive than it is. With that in mind, you're probably wondering, why don't you, Phil, just get a replacement body? Use a kit body or pull one off like a cheap Squire or something like that. Well, that's not the point of this. The point of this is this guitar needs to have all its bits because it's the soul of this guitar we're saving, not just the guitar. It's what it means to someone. If you're interested, this is going to be a multi-part series because we're going to do a fair bit of deep diving. First things first, let's get this thing ripped down, and we're going to have to strip this body and see if we can't glue up this massive break, because this is a serious break. Here's a cool little tip. On your cheaper guitars, sometimes your strings get stuck in there. Just take an old string, one of your heavier ones, and go through this side, and just in and out until you get a hold of it. There we go. I don't know if my bro has replaced these pickups or whether these are the originals out of it. Honestly have no idea. I know he's used hardware screws in that scratch plate because they are flatheads. My brother brought this guitar when he was about 15, I think. I reckon I was somewhere around 10, 11 maybe. It was very quickly nicknamed Dave, and my brother was probably the biggest Iron Maiden fan you could ever meet. The amount of Iron Maiden songs that were learnt on this guitar and were ripping at full volume out of his bedroom, I think it's the entire catalogue to date. And this played through a tiny little practice amp was something else. Ah, it's an Epiphone pickup. I don't know what these are. Never seen a pickup like that before. It's pretty interesting. 0.01 microfarad. Interesting choice. Alright, it's all coming out. Good to see you got some shielding on here though. This will go aside in case he ever wants to put it back to how it was. So we can see by looking at this, this was originally a single coil in here. So it was a 3 single coil guitar. And we can see someone got their hands on a chisel. Well, he made a decent effort of it. A router would have been better. I'm going to have to route this pocket. Oh, I got the wrong size. The wrong size? No, it's just all the way off. Truss rod is like literally that loose. Looking at this, I'm going to have to clean this up, but the first thing that we want to get to is the massive break in it. You know what? I don't need to give you guys commentary on what I'm doing. You guys are smart enough. What are we shimming this with? Oh, bro. Just no. No. So I can do a lot with this neck. All we're going to have to do is we'll roll the edge, level and crown them. Still heaps of meat left on these, so there's no need to refret it. Dress the ends, get them nice and rounded and smooth, and this will play just beautifully. Put a bone nut in there too, we'll get rid of that plastic shit. So here's the big issue. Don't know, where's the best place to look at this? Here. See this massive break? It's huge, I can move it with my hands. It's all the way down the middle and down this side. I'm going to have to strip the guitar. We knew that anyway, she's needing a repaint, but I think we have to strip it around this area. We have to open this up, feed it full of some glue. I think we'll use wood glue on this, we'll use tight bond, and then clamp it closed. Pretty clean break, it's just a matter of syringing the glue in there and getting it to take. Quite a square body, we might round it over a little bit too. There is a much more effective way of taking springs off than what I just did. Marina guitars are pretty much an unknown brand. They're actually extremely rare, really hard to find. Revival series FL-1. I've seen a few -2s. FL1s, I don't think I've seen another one. Just because it's rare doesn't make it valuable. It's still only a couple $100 worth of guitar, if that really. I think, you know, if you were to put this back together, well, with the break in it, it's almost worth not much at all, and with that routing. As this guitar sits, it's probably worth about $40. But like I said, it's the soul of this guitar we're saving, not the guitar itself. I'm going to show you how to put pickups in these that are inexpensive pickups, but how we can make them sound good with some inexpensive upgrades. So next steps for this guitar. First thing we need to do to this is see if we can get some glue injected. So what I'm going to need to do is probably clean out a little bit of these scratches just around this. This is poly, so I'm just going to heat it, scrape some of this paint back so that I've got good access to the brakes. We're going to flood it with glue and then we're going to clamp it. There's some bits here that I'm going to want to fill in. I mean, I can see through that. I may route this a bit more square and then block it and then reroute it so that I can fill this in because it's come right through there. We're going to have to route out this front one so that we can fit a humbucker in here. Probably should do this outside, but I can't be bothered cleaning up the garden shed. So we'll just get into it out here. What I am looking to do is just remove some of this poly from the cracks so I can see a bit better what's going on. Let's see if we can get it lifted. Alright, let's have a look at sorting this neck out. We'll get these machine heads off. Plan for this neck is we're going to roll this fingerboard, we're going to level the frets, crown them, polish them, do the fret ends, get a nice smooth play, put a nice bone nut on here, and I'm thinking let's sand the back of this neck, get rid of the black and oil it. Let's do a tongue oil finish on this and get it really nice and buffed up. We've got nice new machine heads for this as well, but first thing to do is to get into these frets. We'll mask her off and start leveling them. Oh no! Oh, what is that?